With just 3 days until our wedding, my fiancée Sarah suddenly called it off. It was the third time she had done this. This time her reason was that she wanted to use our wedding venue to throw a birthday party for her young assistant. I told her I wanted to cancel our engagement for good. She just laughed at me, saying, "Get real. Isn't your family waiting for us to save you? Your family is doing so badly right now. Who else would even look at you but me?" She was so sure I would never marry anyone else. 3 days later, Sarah was downstairs celebrating James's birthday. I was upstairs getting married to another woman. When she came up with James, their arms linked, wanting to share a celebratory drink, she saw me in a groom's outfit. The most successful businesswoman in our city completely lost her composure. "Julian, you're so useless. You let this golden opportunity slip away." My dad slapped my face. Feeling the sting on my cheek, I was surprisingly calm inside. I said quietly, "Sarah has already moved on, Dad. Relying on her family for our future wasn't a long-term plan anyway. What else can we do? Without her family, we will be bankrupt." My dad sighed, suddenly looking 10 years older. My mom said helplessly, "We will think of something else. If not, we will have to accept our fate." I felt guilty, but at this point, I could only accept it. The funny thing is, I have known Sarah for 20 years. You could say we grew up together. In middle school, when some bullies bothered her, I grabbed a brick and fought them off. She held my injured arm and cried, "Julian, you're so good to me. When I grow up, I will definitely marry you." Even after being apart for 5 years, when she came back from abroad, already a grown woman, she still playfully grabbed my hand and said, "I'm all grown up now. Are you ready to marry me?" I remember my heart was racing as I looked into her beautiful eyes and said seriously, "I'm ready. I can marry you anytime." But later, she repeatedly avoided our engagement. At 23, we were 10 days away from tying the knot when she suddenly took off to Hawaii alone for 6 months. At 24, on our wedding day, she had a fit at work, refusing to show up, leaving me alone at the altar. I always thought she just wasn't ready to marry me, that eventually we would be together. Until this time, when my family faced bankruptcy over a bad investment, and only an alliance with her family could save us. Yet she bailed again for an assistant's birthday. James went to the same school as me, and one day he asked if I could help him find a job. Feeling sorry for him being all alone in our city, I recommended him to Sarah's company. She instantly took a liking to him and made him her personal assistant. She even teased me. "Would you be jealous if I made him my personal assistant, Julian?" I didn't think much of it, thinking she was joking. I replied, "You guys are just working. I'm not that petty." Who would have guessed? After that, every time I saw her, James was there. They were laughing, looking so close like they were the real couple. I quickly felt uneasy, gently warning her to keep some distance from James. James overheard, looking pale and pitiful. I have no other thoughts about Sarah. I just admire her. "Julian, is that so wrong?" I hesitated, about to speak, when Sarah snapped at me. "How could you be so vile? Look how you've scared James." Apologize to him. Under her insistence, I apologized to James, but I clearly caught a smirk on his face as I did. Around this time, it was just 5 days until our third scheduled wedding. 2 days later, at our social gathering, I was supposed to attend with Sarah, but she showed up with James. "What's going on? Isn't Sarah about to marry Julian? What's this about?" So what if they're getting married? Even if they're wed, they can get divorced. Looks like the son-in-law is changing. Did you see Julian's face? He looked like he had swallowed a fly. I pushed through the crowd, walking up and swinging a punch at James. Yet the next moment, Sarah slapped me across the face. "Julian, I forbid you to touch him." She actually hit me for a guy she had known less than 3 months. My mind went blank for a few seconds. My face wasn't what hurt, my heart did. Sarah glared fiercely at me. "Julian, are you crazy? Who told you to hit him?" She acted like I wasn't her fiancé, but an enemy. "Sarah, do you remember we're supposed to get married in 3 days?" I asked, my voice hoarse. She turned away impatiently, saying, "I know. Stop reminding me over and over." She left me, protectively standing with James, assuring him gently, "Don't worry, everything will be fine. I'll take you to the hospital right away." With those words, she whisked him out of the hall. I was left as the center of attention, laughed at like a clown. I stumbled out, and in the hotel parking lot, I saw Sarah gently cleaning James's wound with tissues. James naturally wrapped his arm around her waist. She didn't resist, her eyes full of kindness. Julian is so domineering. Why marry him, Sarah? He clings on desperately. I've had enough of him. Your birthday is on your wedding day. I've never celebrated my birthday. I'll celebrate for you. So Sarah thought I was clingy, that she might have been sick of me long ago. Feeling bitter, I wandered past them like a ghost. Sarah stopped me, commanding, Julian, the wedding's canceled. I'm giving James a birthday party that day. What I dreaded had happened again. I really couldn't believe she canceled our engagement for a third time. Turning to face her cold, elegant face, I asked hopelessly, Are you sure? Very sure. So, when are you planning to marry? She sneered. Why are you so impatient? Not saying I won't marry you. This just so happened to fall on James's birthday. We'll use the wedding venue for his birthday party. I stayed silent for a long time, looking at the cold and distant expression on her face. I finally made up my mind and slowly spoke up. Sarah, let's completely call off the engagement. She was stunned for a couple of seconds, then replied angrily. Are you trying to force me to marry you this way? I told you I'm spending that day on James's birthday. Can't you understand human words? No, it's just that I don't want to marry you anymore. I looked at her standing so close to James. My eyes stung, but I was dead serious. Sarah pointed her finger at me. Get a hold of yourself. Haven't you waited for my family's rescue all along? Your family's doing so bad now. Who else would even consider you besides me? Or do you not care about your family and want to marry someone with no money or power? I looked at her in shock. So she knew my family was pinning everything on this marriage, yet she still postponed the wedding for James's birthday. At that moment, I felt like someone had me by the throat, hurt and breathless. She saw the change on my face and snorted, Stop pretending. It's just a few days delay for the wedding. Is it worth all this pain? I was speechless. She pulled James into the car. 3 days from now, it's James's birthday party. You're invited. James looked at me, unable to hide his smirk. Yeah, if it weren't for Julian, Sarah and I wouldn't have met. You'll have to come that day, Julian. As they drove off, I stood there quietly, remembering the day before Sarah left to study abroad. She came to me. Julian, I don't want to leave you. I'm so reluctant to let go of you. I'll definitely be sad and miserable without you. She cried her heart out. I carefully wiped her tears, made silly faces, and told jokes. I did everything I could to comfort her until I said, Think of it as a vacation. Have fun there. Trust me, I'll be waiting right here when you return. Only then did she smile. She made a pinky promise, made me swear to wait for her. But Sarah, this time I won't wait for you. We're really over. When I got home, I took out everything related to her. Her photos, the gifts she gave me, the diary I wrote for her. I tossed them in a box, took it to the yard, and set it all on fire. Her family's villa was right across. By the time Sarah returned, most of it was already burned away. She glanced from afar, mocking. Who are you putting on a show for? Without knowing, one might think there's been a death in your family. I didn't answer, just silently watched as my memories with Sarah turned to ashes. No one died, but my feelings did. After that, my parents ran around trying to save the company, coming home late every night. I was busy cleaning up the mess, contacting guests about the wedding cancellation. I went to the boutique where we ordered our wedding outfits. To my surprise, Sarah and James were there trying on clothes. Sarah wore the very wedding dress we had ordered, and James had on the groom's suit meant for me. When they noticed me, Sarah was startled for a second but then calmly said, It's already made. Leaving it is a waste. I've decided to wear this dress for James's birthday. James gave me a slightly mocking look. Julian, this suit fits me perfectly. Can you let me have it? They stood together in those outfits like they were bride and groom. I looked at them and sincerely suggested, Why not just get married? You two are a perfect match. James seemed pleased by this, while Sarah suddenly got cold. Julian, what nonsense are you talking about? We've been engaged for a while. By saying this, are you insulting me? I replied, How is it an insult? Our engagement's off. You don't have to marry me. She was completely furious and pointed at the door. I don't want to see you. If you don't want me to ruin your family, get out now. Everyone in the wedding shop watched, enjoying the drama. I was the highlight of their day. After a final glance at Sarah, I turned and left. Behind me, their laughter quickly filled the air inside. I was peaceful. After all, I had let go of all expectations for Sarah a long time ago. At home, my parents sat in the living room waiting. My mom looked at me, hesitated, and asked, Julian, do you still have feelings for Sarah? Are you having a hard time letting go? My dad spoke sternly. Even if you can't let go, you have to. It's the only way to save the company. I recalled the scene at the boutique and calmly replied, I have no feelings left for her. Good. Then my dad decided, slapping the table. Elena. I had no idea who Elena was next. I learned from my parents that earlier today, the daughter of a prominent family in city, they wanted me to be their son-in-law. Tomorrow, they would hold a wedding for me and this young lady right upstairs from the venue we booked. James's birthday party was also tomorrow. I couldn't believe it. While Sarah was celebrating downstairs, I would be marrying someone else upstairs. Julian, if you don't want to, we won't force you, Mom said, watching me with concern. Dad stared, dreading a no from me. Quietly, I said, as long as she's willing, I'll go along with it. So this rushed wedding was set. The next day came quickly. That day, I was to marry a stranger. Too familiar with the original venue, I accidentally went to the wrong floor. I walked right into James's party. When I arrived, James's friends were goading Sarah to kiss him. She looked at him with soft eyes, showing no hint of refusal. Eventually, she stood on her tiptoes and gave him a soft kiss. James held her and kissed back. They were in wedding attire, looking all lovey-dovey like a sweet couple at a wedding. Everyone cheered and applauded at the scene, but inside, I felt really calm. It took Sarah a while to notice me. Her face changed for a moment, but she quickly regained her composure. Why are you so late? Dressed like that? What are you up to? Unlike her gentle attitude with James, she snapped at me coldly. I glanced at my groom's suit and answered honestly, I'm getting married today. James heard me and laughed right in my face. Julian, are you for real? This is a birthday party, not your wedding. Maybe I should help you find a shrink. His friends joined in, saying nasty things. Sarah's gal pals looked at me like I was some kind of clown. Sarah glared at me, speaking harshly. Julian, are you crazy or what? I told you we'll talk about getting married later. Stop embarrassing yourself and get lost. She thought my outfit was my way of pushing her to marry me. I looked at her carefully made-up look, her fancy wedding dress, and the lipstick mark she left on James's face. I smiled a bit, calm as can be. I am getting married, but the bride isn't you. My wedding's upstairs. If you want to come, I don't mind you having a drink. With that, I turned and walked away. Sarah was left standing there and shot at me viciously. Julian, are you nuts? Elena's wedding is upstairs. You, a broke kid on the verge of bankruptcy, think you can marry her? You must be delusional. I ignored her and went back to my wedding. On the hotel's second floor, the moment I stepped on stage, I saw my bride, Elena. Her wedding dress was simple but looked stunning on her. I locked eyes with her and realized her face seemed familiar, like I had seen it before, but I couldn't quite place it. She gave me a gentle smile, and I awkwardly nodded back. It felt like a dream, marrying someone practically a stranger. The MC had us exchange rings. I walked to Elena, picked up her hand, and carefully slid on the ring. It was a tight fit, my hand shaking a bit. She lowered her head and giggled, whispering softly, Julian, long time no see. Like we had known each other forever, but I couldn't remember. She didn't say more, and neither did I, following along with the ceremony. Sarah and James showed up as we were toasting the guests. Not wanting to steal Elena's thunder, Sarah had switched out of her wedding dress. Seeing Elena with her arm looped through mine, joining me for toasting and small talk, Sarah's face changed. She rushed over, grabbing my wrist. Julian, what are you doing? How dare you mess with Elena's wedding? Do you have a death wish? Everyone turned to look with curious eyes. They knew about the messy drama between us and wondered how things would play out. I pulled my hand away from hers. Sarah, if you're here to congratulate us, find a seat. Don't disrupt my and Elena's wedding. Sarah hesitated, then laughed. Is this a joke? You, a broke guy with Elena? Elena spoke up with a cool edge. Ma'am, show some respect to my husband. If you don't, security will escort you out. Even Elena seemed to be playing along. Sarah looked puzzled, still reaching for my hand. She tried dragging me away as security stepped in. Let me go? Julian, is this how you treat your fiancé? Aren't you scared my family will ruin yours in S-City? Sarah threatened with the same old weak point. I sighed, disappointed but staying calm. We broke off the engagement, remember? This is my wedding with Elena. Chill out. Elena held my arm tighter, giving Sarah a bland stare. If you mess with him, you mess with me. You should know the consequences for your family. But Sarah didn't seem to hear, still staring at me. Julian, you're leaving me? You said you'd marry me. Did you forget? Before I could answer, Elena stepped in. Sarah, really? Julian waited years for you. How could you treat him like that? Someone who values him will take care of his heart. Go find your toy boy. You don't deserve him. I was surprised Elena knew so much about me. For now, I hoped she would help my family. Her support was already a blessing. James came over to take Sarah away, but she shoved him down, not even glancing at him. Like she was clinging to her last hope, she grabbed my hand. Julian, I'm sorry. Can't we get married now? I promise no more running away. Julian, please. I saw her in such a state and felt baffled. Why would she care if I married someone else? But it doesn't matter now. I pulled my hand back, holding Elena's tightly, our fingers intertwined. Whatever you're saying, I'm not interested. Elena is my wife, and this is our wedding. Please leave. No, I won't. Julian, don't leave me like this. Ignoring her cries, security forcefully led her away. Elena gently squeezed my hand. Julian, she's the girl you loved for so long. She's willing to marry you. Are you sure you're letting her go? I turned to look at Elena, puzzled by the emotion I saw there. I looked into her beautiful eyes and said nervously, You're the one who saved me from my cage. Since we've had a wedding, you're the love of my life now. Elena, will you be my wife? Her cheeks turned crimson as she nodded earnestly at me. Even though Elena and I were already married, we hadn't known each other long. That night, nothing actually happened. She just held my hand and said, Shall we go get our marriage license tomorrow? Or do you want some time to think it over? Her respect for my opinion was a bit unexpected. I smiled at her. Let's go with your plan. And her eyes lit up. Okay then, let's go to the Civil Affairs Bureau tomorrow. Somehow Sarah got wind of the news. The next day, as Elena and I arrived at the Civil Affairs Bureau, Sarah was waiting at the entrance. When she saw us, she rushed over. Julian, she exclaimed, I won't let you register your marriage with her. You promised to marry me. Are you going to back out? I shielded Elena, not wanting her to get hurt by Sarah. I looked at Sarah, cold and unchanging, and said, Sarah, haven't you broken your promises before? Can't you stop causing trouble? She protested. But you've always indulged me. Why not just one more time, Julian? I brought all my documents. We can register our marriage now. Sarah reached for my hand, but I quickly dodged. Stop being disgusting, will you? I have no feelings left for you. I'm not registering anything with you, so please step aside. Sarah shook her head, tears in her voice. I don't believe it. We have over 20 years of history. How could it just be gone? Are you doing this for the company? I can help too. I'll get your family some big deals to save you. I couldn't help but laugh, a bitter sound tinged with anger. You think our relationship was so strong? Then why did you ruin our wedding for someone you've just met? You even wore a wedding dress for his birthday, Sarah. Isn't it obvious how you feel about me? She pointed at Elena. And what about her? You've never even dated, but you'd rather marry her than me? Can you really say you truly love her? Holding Elena's hand tightly, I frankly told Sarah, I can't say how much I love my partner, but what I do know is I thoroughly despise you. Now please step aside. I won't let you register your marriage, she was saying, but then fell silent. Elena stepped forward and slapped her hard. Sarah, haven't you hurt Julian enough? Can you be kind and leave him alone? After the slap, Sarah took a few seconds to recover. She looked at me with a bitter smile. You just stood there and let her hit me? Weren't you always protecting me growing up? Why not now? Because I have someone I genuinely need to protect now. Sarah, please don't disgrace yourself anymore, I said, grabbing Elena's hand, moving past Sarah toward the building. Sarah's voice piercingly screamed from behind. Julian, don't go. Don't register with her. I pretended not to hear, rubbing Elena's hand, concerned. Does your hand hurt? When Elena and I walked out certified as married, Sarah was gone. Julian, won't you regret marrying me? You've waited for Sarah for so long. You must really love her. You could have had her easily, Elena asked, clearly concerned. Holding her hand tight, I said sincerely, no, I won't regret it. Once you're just completely let down by someone, you can't imagine growing old with them anymore. But I couldn't resist asking. But there's something I'm really curious about, Elena. Why did you choose me? Elena pretended to be angry. You really don't remember, do you? We met in middle school. I was just too ordinary back then. You only had eyes for Sarah. As she said that, I suddenly remembered. There was this small, skinny girl who would always come asking me questions, flashing a sweet smile. But after one summer, she vanished. Piecing it together, that girl was Elena. I hadn't recognized her because the petite girl had transformed into this vibrant, stunning young woman. Embarrassed, I confessed. I was so foolish back then, seeing Sarah as my only friend and missing out on lots of people. But you saved me, Julian, she reminded me. Remember when those bullies were bothering me and you chased them off with a stick? Ever since then, I decided to be your best friend. But I had to transfer schools. Still, that's all in the past now. I'm with my savior, Julian. I really like you, Elena said as she wrapped her arms around me gently. To think that the same two girls I once rescued had such different roles. Sarah talked about marriage for years, only to waste our time, while Elena rescued me when I needed it most. Gratefully, I returned Elena's hug, promising wholeheartedly, I'll cherish your affection and love you back. On the day Elena and I were to leave S City, as we stepped out of the hotel, James suddenly appeared, grabbing my arm. He looked amiss. The once young, handsome face was now worn and haggard. Julian, please help me. Sarah's gone crazy. She got me fired, and she's taking back the house she bought for me. I'm completely homeless. I hadn't even known Sarah had bought a house for James. Julian, help me find another job. I can work for you, James pleaded, his gaze landing on Elena. I quickly shielded her, ready to shove James away. But Elena stepped up, scolding him on my behalf. You ungrateful jerk. How do you even have the nerve to come to Julian for help? Sarah adored you. Go back and make her happy. James, looking at Elena, couldn't wait to say, I'm younger than Julian, better looking, and I can be your dog, Miss Elena. Do you want to think about it? I couldn't take it anymore and punched him hard in the face. What a creep, Elena grumbled from nearby. Just then, a car stopped right in front of us. It was Sarah, but this time, she didn't stand up for James. She didn't even look at him. She rushed over to me and said, Julian, didn't you hate it when I hung out with James? Well, I've completely cut ties with him. From now on, I won't be friends with anyone you dislike. Please forgive me. You can get a divorce with her right now, and we can have a wedding anytime you want. Sarah, what are you doing right now? There's no going back for us. You know that, right? She felt like a stranger to me, like she'd lost it. She was the one who kept leaving me at the altar, making me look like a fool. She got close with James, put on a wedding dress for his birthday, hugged and kissed him, even slapped me without hesitation for him. So what's up with her being so pitiful now? With tears streaming down her face, Sarah said, Julian, I can't live without you. We've been together for so many years. I'm used to having you around. I thought you were waiting for me, Julian. Why did you suddenly stop waiting? Because I'm completely disappointed in you. I have someone I love now, Sarah. It's over, I said, grabbing Elena's hand to leave. Sarah blocked us, glanced at Elena, and said fiercely to me, Julian, I've heard it all. You're marrying her to mooch off her family. You're just a maid in her house. Can a man like you accept that? Come back to me, and I'll love and respect you. Elena interrupted. Don't worry, I'll give Julian the utmost respect. I'm not like you, hurting someone and then obsessing over them. Sarah's face turned pale from Elena's words. She clung to the last bit of hope and called my name for the last time. We're done, Sarah? Let's go our separate ways. We shouldn't see each other again. I said this as I quickly walked away with Elena, ignoring Sarah's cries and breakdown behind us. Everything with her was behind me. I was starting a new life. Even though I had become a husband, Elena truly respected me. She joined her family's company, worked hard, and soon made progress. Our relationship grew quickly, becoming more intimate. I'm grateful for our reunion and for Elena. Without her, I might still be trapped in the cage Sarah built for me. Meanwhile, Sarah seemed to be hitting a rough patch due to some bad decisions. After I left S City, I heard about James from a classmate. He had been caught by a rich lady's husband while fooling around and got beaten up badly. His leg was broken and he couldn't walk anymore. A classmate once saw him begging on the street. As for Sarah, I ignored her. She stopped reaching out as well. However, 3 years later, I accidentally came across one of her videos. She was in that same wedding dress, looking worn out like she had aged a few years. The caption read, "A wedding for one waiting for someone who won't come." I just shook my head, reported it as inappropriate, and blocked her account. I didn't want to see anything from her again. Hubby, come wipe the baby's tush. Elena called. I hurried over, carefully picked up our 2-year-old, and wiped them clean with a tissue. Elena gave me a warm smile and kissed my forehead. I kissed her back in return, feeling all the love. The kid giggled at us. Some people stay stuck, some move on. For the rest of my life, I'm cherishing the right ones.